Around 420 BC, in the Boeotian city of Thebes, a boy was born who would one day shake the foundations of Greece. His name, Epaminondas. Raised in a modest but noble family, he was trained not in luxury, but in discipline and philosophy. Ancient writers say he studied under the Pythagorean sage Lysis of Tarentum. He grew into a man of frugality and incorruptibility, admired for his sharp mind as much as for his unyielding character. Unlike many of his peers, Epaminondas never sought wealth, power, or marriage. His life was devoted to Thebes and to a dream that his city could stand equal to Athens and Sparta. In 382 BC, Sparta seized the Cadmea, Thebes' citadel. For years, Thebes lived under Spartan dominance. But in 379, Theban patriots struck back. With Epaminondas inside the city and his friend Pelopidas leading the daring assassins, the Spartans were overthrown. Thebes was free again. It was in these years that Epaminondas emerged as both philosopher-statesman and general. He helped rebuild the Boeotian League, a federation binding the cities of Boeotia into a new democratic force. The Spartans, the most feared warriors in Greece, would soon learn that Thebes was not to be underestimated. In 375 BC, at Tegera, a small Theban force under Pelopidas and the Sacred Band, an elite corps of 300 lovers fighting side by side, defeated a Spartan detachment in open combat. It was the first crack in Sparta's aura of invincibility. Then came 371 BC. At the peace conference in Sparta, Epaminondas demanded that Thebes sign the treaty for all Boeotia. The Spartans refused. War followed. On the plain of Leuctra, the full weight of Sparta faced Thebes. Epaminondas made a gamble no other general dared. Instead of the traditional line, he stacked his best troops, 50 ranks deep, on the left, directly against the Spartan king's guard. He unleashed his cavalry first, scattering Spartan horsemen. Then the massive Theban column drove into the Spartan elite. The Sacred Band led the charge. The Spartan king Cleombrotus fell, and with him nearly half of Sparta's citizen soldiers. For the first time in history, a Spartan army had been utterly destroyed in open battle. The myth of Spartan supremacy died at Leuctra. Epaminondas pressed the advantage. In 370, he did the unthinkable. He invaded Laconia itself, something no Greek army had ever achieved. He marched unopposed near Sparta's very walls. But his greatest stroke was political. He founded the city of Messene, calling back exiles to reclaim their homeland. For centuries, Sparta had ruled Messenia, enslaving its people as helots. Now, under Theban protection, the Messenians were free. Half of Sparta's economic base vanished overnight. At the same time, Epaminondas backed the creation of Megalopolis and the Arcadian League, forging a counterweight to Spartan power in the Peloponnese. He was not only a general, but a state builder. In 364, he launched a Theban fleet of 100 triremes, challenging Athens' dominance of the Aegean. For a moment, Thebes, a city with no naval tradition, was a maritime contender. In 362, Sparta and Athens rallied allies against Thebes. The final confrontation came at Mantinea. Once more, Epaminondas used daring maneuvers. His left surged forward, smashing the enemy line. Victory seemed complete, but in the charge, Epaminondas was struck in the chest by a spear. He was carried from the field, mortally wounded. Learning that Thebes had won, he allowed the spear to be drawn out and died. Without him, Theban power quickly crumbled. The city had no leader of equal genius. Epaminondas had ruled the Greek world for less than a decade, yet his mark was indelible. He shattered Sparta's supremacy, freed the Messenians, reshaped the Peloponnese, and pioneered tactics that inspired later generals. Among those who studied in Thebes was a young Macedonian prince, Philip II, who would one day pass these lessons to his son, Alexander the Great.